Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Yes, I woke up this way. Trying something a little new today, which is streaming at a much different hour. Usually I am an evening streamer, but today it's Friday night, and I already know there's a lot going on tonight as far as streaming with the hippy dippy stuff. So I think, you know what? Let me give it a go and stream this morning. Maybe I'll say hi to some people that I haven't got to say hi to before. Maybe we'll have a couple haters here that haven't been here before that would perhaps like to jump into the Discord and say some of that hate that they feel about me to my face directly. That would be nice. I would love that to start my morning off with. So yeah. Serpus, yo, what's up? I see that you're on Twitch, which means you're especially based. Hunter, it's too damn early. I mean, it's about to be 11 o'clock a.m. my time. I'm in Eastern time, so it's not really bad. I like your sword. Oh, thanks. Yeah, someone came on the other day and tried to insult it. It really hurt my feelings, honestly. I've been crying every night about it, but thank you. That means a lot. Hi, I can never join because I work evening mostly. Yeah, what's up? Glad to see you're here. If you're watching on Twitch for the first time, make sure you hit that follow button, too. I'm hoping for some early bird haters, Hunter. Me too, my friend. Me too. I already saw somebody over here saying something really honestly quite hurtful about me. Who was it? Abiel Sanchez? I think they've been... I don't know if that person's talking shit or not, but I would still fucking love to chat with anyone who doesn't like me here. Or who just has a disagreement even, you know? Adrian Knight, thanks for the $5. You gonna show up on Walsh's charity stream? I might, yeah. And thank you for the donation. That reminds me, if you are watching, then please consider putting something in the super chat. Your donation will be read and responded to live, okay? Hoping for some live haters for the blood debate gods. There you go. If you are watching on Twitch, there is no way to currently subscribe, but you can send me a PayPal donation, which I will read and respond to. I did get a PayPal donation last stream, that I didn't read before, so I apologize, but I would like to read it now. This comes from Melissa McDonald. Thank you for the $20 PayPal donation for the weed fund. Stay lifted, my friend. Damn. All right. Very cool. Appreciate it immensely. But seriously, thank you very much. I need to... Hold on. I'm going to go over here and see if I can get my super chats read. Okay. So, I missed some donations last time. I'm going to go over them now. Sucky Suck for $5. Thank you for the $2. I guess you could have at least given me $5 to go along with your name, but just kidding. I love you. Thank you. Hunter, one day you will become a master debater. Yes, one day. One day, I hope to become the ultimate master debater. Xavier Watts, thank you for the $5 donation. Yeah, Hunter, your videos are kind of terrible now. I just listen in the background. Okay, well, sorry that you feel that way, but thanks for the $5 donation. Appreciate it. Kali Wally, thanks for the $2. Thoughts on Kyle Kalinske? I don't know much about him. What I do know is that he's not the brightest bulb in the socket. Kalili, thank you for the $5. Keep at it. Online politics. How can I not? Keep it up. Online politics needs more people who can check their egos and change their positions. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, yeah. And then Black Dynamite said, the quartering straight bodied you, fam. Okay. Oh, I would love to talk to that guy again. Big Mac gave a $10 donation. Do you think you can cover Hiro Hey in the future? He's the anime equivalent to the quartering. Oh, I don't know. I don't know enough about anime stuff to do that, I don't think. But thank you very much for those generous donations. It means a lot. So let me get back to my little live stream thing, and then we'll get into our first topic for the day, which is going to be I don't actually know. What do I want to do? How about Joe Biden? You know, let's jump into the Joe Biden situation. Yeah. I love how he gave you money to hate. Hey, I'll take it. If you want to hate, put it in the super chat, man. Kyle is not a dimwit hunter. He is left of you for sure, though. Here's what I know about Kyle Kulinski. He's been wrong on multiple occasions, one of them being where he made the claim that back in like the 50s or 60s, the tax rate on the wealthy was like 90%, which it was a half-truth, because there were tax brackets that reached that far, that did get up to 90%, but they were never actually paying that much in taxes. They were using all kinds of loopholes to get through that. Nowhere in history were the wealthy paying 90% in taxes. But he tried to invoke that to be like, look, this is how it used to be. There was that. And then recently, what did his tweet say? Where that Joe Biden should hold someone else in government hostage with the threat that he'd investigate their daughter unless they vote his way on the infrastructure bill? Like, come on, man. Come on. It's... Yeah, we do already have 20 dislikes. Oh, boo-hoo. Someone's so sad. All these people sneak in, they dislike, and then they leave. It's so hilarious. Why did you vote for Biden? He's fucking scum. Wrong. I think so far Biden's been doing a pretty good job. But we're going to talk about this thing now, okay? So we're having some Joe Biden drama. It's going down on the timeline, my friends. Joe Biden. All fingers are pointed at him right now because Joe Biden yesterday announced the strictest vaccine mandate probably within his power, and whether or not it's even in his power might be questionable. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's happened. So first and foremost, Biden, let's see. Hold on. I want to make sure I'm reading the right thing. Initially reluctant to enact mandates, the president is now moving aggressively to require vaccination as the Delta variant races across the country. All right. So Biden on Thursday used the full force of his presidency to push 2/3 of American workers to be vaccinated against the coronavirus, reaching into the private sector to mandate that all companies with more than 100 workers require vaccination or weekly testing. And if you fuck up, if you don't abide by these guidelines, then you will be fined $14,000 per worker that you did not enforce vaccination or testing on. So let's make this clear. I've talked about, does the federal government have the ability to mandate vaccines? And the answer here, this is very much a legal gray area. Biden's already being sued for this. We're going to see this challenged in court. But this is a bit of a gray area because the federal government is stepping in and requiring vaccination more or less, but it's in the private sector. It's not quite the same as the state saying just by existing in the state you must be vaccinated. So it's my understanding that the federal government doesn't have the ability to do a full-on vaccine mandate to the point where they say, if you're an American citizen, you are required to get vaccinated. I don't think they have the ability to do that, but Biden reaching into the private sector here, this is where it gets a little bit murky, because there are going to be people that push back against this. Like I said, there already are, but also Biden is trying to use the proper channels in order to do this. He's asked OSHA to order vaccine mandates at large employers. So, let's dig into this just a little bit. The requirements will be imposed by the Department of Labor and its Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is drafting an emergency temporary standard to carry out the mandate. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this: United Airlines, Disney, Tyson Foods, and even Fox News, Mr. Biden said. True, which probably means Tucker Carlson is vaccinated. The move, though, is sure to face political pushback and litigation, and it faces considerable challenges, like establishing a way to gather and store the vaccination information, as well as a process for exemptions. The president did not specify penalties for flouting the requirements. Wait, what? Maybe the president didn't detail that? I thought there was a, hold on. I thought it was a $14,000 fine. I know I read that somewhere. I might have to go reread that then. The Biden administration also intends to require vaccination for federal workers and contractors, as well as for 17 million healthcare workers in hospitals and other institutions that receive Medicare and Medicaid funding. OSHA oversees workplace safety, which the agency is likely to contend extends to vaccine mandates. The agency has issued other guidelines for pandemic precautions, such as a rule in June requiring healthcare employers to provide protective equipment, provide adequate ventilation, and ensure social distancing, among other measures. So it sounds like they might actually have the ability to do this by using OSHA, by arguing that if you're overseeing workplace safety, vaccinating your employees, making sure that they are not spreading COVID-19, that extends to workplace safety. And it also sounds like they've done things similar to this in the past, and it sounds like they might have the ability to do it because of the ongoing pandemic. They might have a way to insert this temporary guideline because of the ongoing pandemic. I think that the Department of Labor probably is in good stead to be able to justify its mandate for health and safety reasons for the workers, said Steve Bell, a partner at the law firm Dorsey and Whitney, who specializes in labor and employment. They've got a broad, pretty solid basis for saying, we're here to protect the workers, and this is part of our purview, and we think that this is something that will protect employees. OSHA has the authority to quickly issue a rule known as an emergency temporary standard if it can show that workers are exposed to a grave danger and that the rule is necessary to address that danger. The rule must also be feasible for employers to enforce. Such a standard would pre-exempt existing rules by state governments, except in states that have their own OSHA-approved workplace agencies. So this sounds like Biden's going through the proper channels in doing this. It sounds like OSHA has the authority to already do this, and I am likely to, I'm willing to guess that they're going to be able to prove that exposing workers to COVID-19 is a danger, and that making sure people are vaccinated or don't have the virus, because remember, it's either vaccinated or weekly tests, is necessary for keeping the workers safe. That seems to be the ultimate goal here of OSHA, especially in this situation. So, is it a legal gray area? We're going to have to see how it plays out in court. Already, I believe it's the RNC is suing Joe Biden for this, and it's hilarious because they were like, this is going to hurt small businesses. Bruh, did you read it? It's a requirement with more than 100 workers. That ain't a small business, pal. If you have over 100 workers, I think you're probably up there pretty well, pretty solid. It's even said, the headline even describes it as large employers. It's just funny. I think that this is going to be challenged in court. We'll have to see how it plays out. I am in favor of this at the end of the day. I think that based on what I'm reading here, it sounds like Joe Biden is going through the existing channels. He's not mandating it on the basis of just being an American citizen. This is based on still workers in employment. And it sounds like he's going through the proper channels to do all this. It's really quite strange, though, and hilarious at the same time, because conservatives are fucking melting down over this. for the last like couple, I guess maybe like 24 hours or so, hashtag dictator Biden has been trending on Twitter. First of all, if I'm not mistaken, Donald Trump enacted the executive orders, not more than Biden. Biden's had to use executive orders to undo shit that Trump did with executive orders. But President Trump used executive orders to get shit banned, get shit enforced. Remember the critical race thing? He did that all the time. Joe Biden, however, is actually going through the proper legal channels to try and get this done. This is not dictatorial by any means. It's just hilarious, too, because conservatives will... You've become a real bored dude. Hey, why don't you get in my Discord and we'll talk about it? Am I boring you, or is it just that I'm no longer affirming what you'd like to hear all day, every day? I'd be curious to know. Well, now I'm boring because I lost my train of thought because of chat. But remember when Trump made the references to revoking your citizenship if you burn the American flag? You see, that wasn't dictatorial, according to conservatives, because that didn't really affect conservatives. Conservatives don't burn the American flag. They don't give a fuck. That's not going to restrict their own freedoms. Yeah, so who fucking cares? Plus, you shouldn't. If they agree with it, it's fine and dandy, too. But then with something like this, since a lot of conservatives, unfortunately, no offense, happen to be fucking stupid and happen to be anti-vax, vaccine hesitant types, unfortunately, this affects them much more than something like burning the American flag restrictions ever would. So it's just really funny to see where they're like, this is dictatorial, and where they're like, it's not dictatorial. And even if it was, I kind of agree with it. So yeah, is this dictatorial? No, it's not. If you're going through the proper legal channels, and it sounds like there's precedent and authority for this government agency to enact these types of things, it's not acting like a dictator, Biden. That's not what this is. Guys, conservatives, chill out, please. Don't get your panties in a wad, okay? It's going to be okay. I promise you. Ask your mommy. Take you in the minivan to go get your shots. I know it's scary. And it does hurt. It feels like a little pinch. So how sometimes you get like a little bee sting and it's like, ow. It might be like that, okay? But if you're good, if you just sit calmly, don't throw a tantrum, don't say anything about how Fauci and the elites are trying to wipe out the population with the DNA-altering mark of the beast, all right? Shh, 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 hush. Don't fuss, okay? After you get the little pinch, you can get a cute Band-Aid and a lollipop, and we'll get milkshakes afterwards. Okay? Please? Okay. Literally trying to convince conservatives at this point is like talking to children, unironically. Because it's just the dumbest excuses imaginable. The thing is, I'm in such a weird spot here because, like, publicly, when I'm talking broadly about, like, the anti-vax conspiracy types and the demagogues who peddle anti-vax nonsense within the kind of conservative echo chamber, the conservative circle jerk, I have no sympathy for those people. And I recognize the, like, optical appeal, I guess, to, like, well, I just want to understand the other side. I just want to know what they're all about. What are they feeling? And to be truthful, I do go by that if I was talking one-to-one to a family member who may have been more or less deceived and taken advantage of and told lies about something. obviously I'm not going to approach a interpersonal conversation the same way I approach this broadly. Okay, just for clarity there. But when I'm talking about this here on my stream, I I understand the optical appeal of being like, some of these people just need us to understand where they're coming from, and but also someone needs to have the balls to just be mean to these fucking dipshits. And I'm okay being that person. I will be mean. These people are fucking stupid. They're degenerate. And you know what's funny? Part of my my hyper rage here comes not only because, yes, I do have some resentment because there are family members who are anti-vax in my family. Obviously, I guess that goes without saying with family members. And it really fucking annoys me. And I have my own qualms there. But also because a little while, well, this only just came out. Wait, did this just come out today? Holy shit. I don't know what time it came out today. This was here when I get up with the kids in the morning. Sometimes I'll put in my headphones and feed them breakfast and listen to some debate. And I was listening here to Destiny's debate, more like a conversation with this girl. What's her name? BX Bullet. Yeah, and to be fair, she's much more reasonable than some. Okay, I'm going to say that right off the bat. I'm not trying to just shit all over her or something. But in this particular discussion, everything she was sort of doing, it felt very much like she was trying to sort of hide behind the, well, we don't want to be so divisive. Someone needs to just be kind of understanding, you know? But in doing that, she was also literally playing defense for virtually every dumb fuck conservative conspiracy theory out there. The inflating COVID numbers thing. She kept saying people might not want to get it because it's an 80% chance of making you have fatigue. I'm sorry. I understand, I appreciate a lot Destiny's approach, the more conversational aspect, and I do think that's important. I think that there is a place for that. But there also is a place for someone to just be mean to these fucking idiots. If you're saying that I'm going to risk my neighbors, I'm going to risk the continuing of this pandemic, because 80% of people that get it will feel tired. Fuck you. Get the vaccine on a fucking Friday so the next day you don't have to go into work. Drink a goddamn Red Bull and get over it. How tired do you think you're going to be if you have COVID? It's just, every excuse made. And I've argued with this person too. She was on one of the hippy dippy panels, and it was so, she was the one that said being, single motherhood was, or no, what did she say? Fuck, it was the nuclear family. The benefits of the nuclear family is, mainly a myth or whatever. Hunter, sorry, babes, you couldn't be mean if you tried. Destiny, I know in his older content, he would get mad at these people, and that was kind of his thing, and I know that he's kind of moved past that, I guess, now, but I don't know. Just some of the excuses made are just fucking dumb. Even I hate the argument too, the effectiveness goes down. You became your opposition over the course of the last year, and it's fucking pathetic to see. Hey, Eddie Vin Graham, could you please get in my Discord? You have 5 minutes to get in my Discord and we can talk, or else you're going to get banned from the chat permanently. Okay? So my Discord link is down in the description. It's all right. We'll have a chill convo. And we can talk about it. Okay? So go ahead and get in the Discord. You have about, what is it? What time is it? Yeah. You have about 5 minutes, okay? I'm setting the timer. And I'm checking my my Discord for the welcome. In the welcome section, so I can just see. All right. So if your Discord username is different from your Twitch or chat username, then just let me know. And then I'll make sure to get in the call with you right away. All right? Or at least when this is done, which I am almost done. But I hate the excuse of, like, the effectiveness is going down. The effectiveness, that's why do people act like this matters? Why do people... Now, Destiny did say it well, at, like, 50% protection, 60% protection. That's still fucking good, and you should still take the vaccine. I don't know. It's just hard to have sympathy for these people. Some of them, like I said, on an interpersonal level, I can totally understand if it's like, hey, you've been led astray and you've been deceived and arguably brainwashed by, like, Fox News and shit. We can talk about that if you want. I understand that on an interpersonal level, but in a more public setting, no. If you're playing defense for the vaccine hesitant who just simply have questions, fuck you. In my book, you're anti-vax. Fuck you. Because you're effectively anti-vax if you think about it. You are playing defense and validating those delusional, schizophrenic-like, brain-dead thoughts. You are defending it and adding validation to that. So in my book, you are effectively anti-vax, even if you claim not to be. And honestly, even if you are hesitant of the vaccine because I saw a scary story, fuck you. Stop being so dumb. Stop being like a sheep that just reads the headline and then gets scared. Look at it from a statistical level and realize that the likelihood of you dying or having any adverse side effects that last longer than 24 hours is nothing more than a fairy tale. Let's see how moronic Huntard is going to be today. Hey, man, you can get in my Discord too, okay? I haven't seen the other guy get in yet. So if he chats in again, we're going to have to ban him. I don't remember his name now, but oh well. But yeah, it's just, I'm sick of it. Stop playing defense for this kind of shit. And stop making dumb arguments. Anti-vaxxers, please, just stop. If you guys weren't so deranged, we wouldn't have to go to this extent. Biden wouldn't have to take this extent. But either way, I look forward to seeing how this is going to play out in court. I know that it sounds like there's going to be a little bit of gray area there because of just setting up exemptions, making sure like how to verify someone is vaccinated. I mean, don't people have their vaccine cards? I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Can I get into Hunter? If you disagree with me, you can. If you want to argue with me, you can. But I really don't. I'm not too interested in having like a, hey, Hunter, I'm a really big fan. I really want to talk. I just like your stuff. Like, I totally appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. But sort of with the viewers and stuff, it can get, you know. People are like, how do I want to see Hunter yell at someone. How goddamn stupid are you? I don't know. We'll see. Why don't you jump into the Discord and talk to me? Well, I'm in my live thing. We'll see what happens here. My body, my choice. I love when people try to use that argument. Because what's funny is they think it's such an own, too, right? When it's like, what they're saying right there, right, is they're trying to make a bodily autonomy argument with the my body, my choice. Well, you know what? No. I don't want to give it away. Come in my Discord, and we'll talk about it, buddy. Please. It's so cute that you try to give me that one. Not you, Hunter. Oh, maybe they were talking about someone else. Okay, cool. Or they're just backpedaling. All right, let's go over some donos. James Mitchell, thanks for the 5. I respect your change in political views. I have a similar story. Don't let the bigoted haters get in your head. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Glad to hear that you, too, have evolved for the better. Nadine Marcus, thanks for the 5. Only snowflakes and lunatics are upset over the vaccine mandate. True. Yes, 100%. B. Den, thank you for the $5. Hi, Under. Thanks for being based as always. No problem. That's my pleasure. Artie and Knight, thank you for the $5. Love the neocons freaking out about quarantines and vaccines, saying it's unconstitutional when it's literally in the Constitution. Actually, it's true that the state does have a constitutional right to mandate certain shit there. That's true, actually. James Mitchell, thank you again for the $10 donation. Wow. These people love to pretend any common sense policy is authoritarian, but pretend fascism and right-wing authoritarianism isn't a thing. Exactly. I wasn't calling you a dumbass, Hunter. Okay. All right. Sorry about the misunderstanding. Hey, this guy. Hold on. Hello? This guy. Hello? Can you hear me? I was hearing you a minute ago. Do you have push to talk turned on? Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm hearing sound coming through. Can you hear me? Okay, I can hear you, yes, but it's very quiet. I was here. Okay, hold on. Can you hear me, buddy? You need to turn off push to talk. Okay? So go into your settings, click the gear button, and go into voice and video. And you'll see where it says input mode, voice activity, or push to talk. Very quiet. Click it on to voice activity. Okay, hold on. You hear me? Yeah. Off push to talk. I'm hearing my own echo, but I'm not hearing you. Your settings, click the gear button. All right.
I changed the input and the output devices is better.
That's much better. Just pause my stream in the background if you don't mind, and we can start talking.
Sure.
Okay, so all right, hold on. Let me get this started here. So what did you say in my chat? I don't remember what your comment was.
I said that it was sad to see that you've become essentially, I say the opposition kind of callously, but at the same time, this is a lot bigger than vaccinated versus unvaccinated.
Okay,
we've heard.
So how have I become everything I have opposed?
Well, right now you're essentially acting as a almost, well, you know how they're paying influencers and everything, right? I'm not accusing you of being paid. I wouldn't accuse you of doing so. But this administration has been paying influencers on social media to propagate their message. It's essentially what they've been doing for the ever since he basically got in. That's that video that we've seen of that gay intern at the White House.
It's that video care at all. Who cares?
No, I'm not saying you should care. I'm saying that there have been people who have been joining the side of the propaganda arm of this regime that we are currently under.
Propaganda arm of this regime. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So
Okay,
when have I
quick
ever
question.
opposed vaccines or anything? How is this me becoming my opposition?
I'm not saying that you're opposing them. You're pushing them. It sounds like you're pretty pro-vax right now. I tuned in.
Are you able to
It's been.
turn it off speakerphone and put it up to your ear like a regular phone if you're using a phone?
I'm using my laptop right now. So is this? How
Okay.
do I?
Do you have headphones or anything? It's just I'm getting a bit of an echo.
Um, I don't have headphones around me.
All right,
No.
it's okay. Well, I'll just deal with it. It's very
Okay.
minimal. Maybe you can just turn me down a little bit on your laptop.
Sure. Let's see here.
Just your laptop
Okay, is that
volume
better?
generally, yeah. That's a lot better. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I never opposed vaccines. How is this me becoming my opposition?
You never oppose. Okay. Well, first of all, let's define who is the opposition in this case. Who is Biden? Who was Biden talking to yesterday in the evening?
Probably more of the conservatives, the anti-vax types.
And so, are they your opposition, or are they? How do you view them?
I mean, yeah, I would consider them my opposition if they're like brain dead anti-vaxxers. Yeah.
What makes them brain dead? Have you listened to the arguments that
What's
they've
their
had?
reason for not getting vaccinated? That would be the first question.
Have you been paying attention to what's going on in Israel, Australia?
Um, with Australia, the like tracking app, I'm not too fond of that, but I don't know. I'm not very familiar. I don't know what that has to do with the vaccine. Let's stick with what we're talking about here in America, and who cares with what's happening in Israel? If you look at it, people are
No,
still
we should care. We should be
because
paying
people are
attention.
getting it, but they're not actually dying at nearly this as significant rates. It's also because they took the vaccine at an earlier time when it first came out, and it does start to lose its effectiveness. So they might need a booster shot. That's how a developing virus works. So
But
yeah,
we've
it would be
never
a brain. So hold on. So right there, that's a brain dead reason to not get the vaccine. Look at Israel herder. So let's go to the next one, please.
no. Well, okay, it's all right. We can go on to the next one. So, an mRNA vaccine. This is the first mRNA vaccine that we have ever seen developed.
Who cares?
There's a lot of things that come with that, my friend. There's a lot of things that come with that.
mRNA vaccines have been being experimented and testing. I mean, human trials began with mRNA vaccines back in 2013. This has been going on now for nearly a decade. mRNA vaccines have been being studied for quite a long time.
This is the first one that's being put forward that actually utilizes spike proteins. I'm sure you've heard
Cool.
about
Yeah,
those.
it's actually a lot more effective.
I've not been hearing that it's effective.
You don't see the efficacy rates of the vaccines?
I see the efficacy rates of I see the efficacy rates of let's say some of them. Okay, so we have Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson
Uh-huh.
Johnson, right?
Yes.
Right now, there's a lot of problems with Pfizer from what I've been seeing.
Like,
Japan recalled a large amount of them recently.
I thought that was because of a contamination issue and had nothing to do with the actual development of the vaccine.
It was part of the development. I don't know if it was an actual
So the
contamination.
Pfizer vaccine has been FDA approved, right? And we can look at some stats here. If you want, I can pull some up on my computer or send them over to you. We can look at the general. Hold on, let me see if I can find this here. I don't have my anti-vax notes up yet. Hold on one second. We can look at the general efficacy rates of the vaccine. It decreases your likelihood of getting COVID, and in doing that, it decreases your likelihood of spreading COVID. Also, if there is the rare case of a breakthrough case, it greatly, at like a 90% efficacy rate, keeps you from being hospitalized and dying from COVID. So that both the mRNA vaccine has been being studied now for a pretty long time. Like I said, first human trials began in 2013, and hold on. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this at the same time, so I'm a little distracted here.
Go ahead.
But yeah, the mRNA vaccine's been being studied for a long time, and thus far, the available data we have shows an extremely high efficacy rate. So yeah, both of those are brain dead reasons not to get the vaccine. Easily.
But do you see the difference between the J&J, Moderna, Pfizer?
They have what? They have varying efficacy rates?
They do for one.
Okay, here we
there's been various different issues with. I can't speak on Moderna, but I've seen a lot regarding Pfizer, Johnson and Johnson.
I can send you this. This is an independent
Okay.
journalism, sciencenews.org. These charts
Okay.
show that COVID-19 vaccines are doing their job.
How do I go to the chat on this fucking thing?
Here, I sent it to you right in your little message thing. If you're on the call, you should see it just pop up. So the first chart, you can see the growing divide. You can see how the unvaccinated are spiking on hospitalization rates, but the people who are vaccinated are staying relatively steady. We can look on a weekly trend and see how the vaccinated are staying relatively steady with hospitalizations. But then when we have unvaccinated people, they're spiking. They're all over the fucking place. So it's like, it's funny because people will say, like anti-vaxxers will say, like, I'm not going to get the vaccine. I don't want to be part of the experiment. It's like, you are, bitch. You're just part of the control group. And look what we're seeing. You're up and down. You're all over the place. You're in the hospital, man. And the vaccinated are going steady. They're fine. This comes again from sciencenews.org. So, yes, it's a brain dead reason to not get the vaccine, to make that claim that it's not effective, or that the mRNA, it's because it's the first mRNA vaccine. Doesn't matter. It's effective. Doesn't seem to be having negative effects long term. And it seems to be doing its job. Therefore, it's a brain dead reason to use that as an excuse not to. So do you have another excuse?
There's been tons of causes of myocarditis within young people.
Do you know when that cleared up? How long did it take till that went away on its own? Could you tell me, please?
I'm not familiar if you tell me.
It got 24 hours, okay? Usually, most people, the majority of people that had symptoms, it went away in, I think it was 24 to 48 hours, and they didn't even have to go to the hospital. It went away on its own. This is a brain dead reason not to get the vaccine, when in turn we know that the long-term effects of COVID could actually negatively impact your heart and do negatively impact your lungs.
Have you had COVID?
So it's a brain dead reason not to get the vaccine. Another one.
Have you had COVID?
No, but I'm fully vaccinated.
All right.
So have I become my opposition, or have you become my opposition?
Let's go with the control group thing. So, and that was clever, but at the same time, if we're looking at an actual total control group scenario, we can look at Sweden, for example, who they have not done any lockdowns. We know that they have been pretty chill, like really relaxed when it comes to enforcing all of this stuff. And their case rates have been pretty much the same as any other place, any other country that's required mass vaccinations, mass lockdowns.
So let's see. Sweden saw lower 2020 death spike than much of Europe. Sweden, which has shunned the strict lockdowns that have choked much of the global economy, emerged from the 2020 with a smaller increase. Let's see. Sweden had 7.7% more deaths in 2020 than its average for the preceding 4 years. Okay, so that's like significantly lower than a lot of other countries. Hold on, I'm kind of skimming this article quickly. Let's see. Okay. So it sounds like there may have been an issue with some of their reporting, that they weren't actually reporting things quite as accurately as other places. Let's see. Okay, so there's all sorts of factors that played a role here that could, like, hold on. So even, all right, you know what? We can go through this if we want to, but I can send you this. I would look at, I would, if I were you, I would look this over. So what it sounds like to me is that there are some concerns about how that data is calculated. First of all, how they're actually counting. Sorry, I'm getting a really loud echo there. How they're actually counting the deaths. And then there's also the fact that Sweden has a little bit of a lower proportion of older people, which are like significantly more at risk, right? So they also are a generally healthier like area to live also. So there are all sorts of different reasons for why this may have happened. And even if I were to concede all of this and just say, yeah, they didn't do lockdowns fine, then that would just be disagreeing with lockdowns, which you can have your qualms with that all you want. Again, that has really nothing to do with the vaccine, and it doesn't change the effectiveness of the vaccine. So that would still be a brain dead reason not to get the vaccine.
Quick question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So with Discord and with chat, the stuff that you send me, am I able to come back to this anytime, even after we end this call?
Yeah,
So I
if you
can
look on the
look
side where it says
these.
direct messages,
Sure.
you'll be able to just
Okay.
click on me and see all of our messages that we've sent.
Okay, so I don't have to click save or anything.
No.
Okay, all right. And I have to meet with a client at 11:45. I'm on Eastern Daylight Time. But
I got you.
have you heard about the two head scientists, I believe, from the FDA who resigned? I think this was about a week ago. I heard about it. I didn't look into it too much, but I have been hearing from a lot of my friends who are more on the they're more cautious about the vax. They were citing that as a reason to not go ahead and take it, because they said that the two scientists who resigned, I'm forgetting their names at the moment.
Why did they
But
resign?
yeah, they quit.
But why?
Well, that's the thing. I haven't really looked into it. I've just heard that they
Right,
left. It was like
again, this is why I say it's kind of, and I'm not saying you're brain dead here. It sounds like maybe your friends were just a little brain dead. 2 members of the U.S. FDA advisory panel resigned over Alzheimer's drug approval. This has nothing to do with COVID or the vaccine. So, brain dead reason not to get the vaccine. This is
that
one
was over an
Google search.
Alzheimer's drug.
Yes. This is one Google search, dude. Like, this is what I mean. This is why it actually is brain dead not to get the vaccine.
Oh wait, that said that's from June 9th, from what I'm seeing.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. You know what? I might be wrong. Oh, okay. Fair. Thank you for pointing that out. So 2 top FDA officials resigned over Biden administration's booster shot plan, saying it insisted on the policy before the agency approved it. Okay. So what does this mean?
Okay. Marion Gruber. That one? Is that the one you're looking at?
Yeah, the director of the FDA's Office of Vaccines. Her plan to leave the FDA in October and November. So, praised the pair for their work for the COVID-19 pandemic. He didn't give a reason for the departure. But sources told Endpoints and Politico... Hold on, I have to mute you just because of the echo. 1 minute. Politico that Gruber... I almost read Grubhub. Gruber and Krause were upset with Biden administration's booster shot plan. The administration announced last month that most people would be offered a COVID-19 booster shot about 8 months after the vaccination. One former senior FDA leader told Endpoints that Gruber and Krause were leaving because they felt that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention was making vaccine decisions that should have been left to the FDA, and were upset with Marks, the leader of their division, not insisting on the agency's oversight. Okay, so couple things. This sounds like perhaps Biden was a little quick to announce this and they didn't like that. But if that's a reason not to get vaccinated, then that would still be a very brain dead reason, because Donald Trump couldn't even get along with Fauci and had all kinds of issues with that because he wouldn't follow their guidance and was announcing things and saying shit without their advice. Second of all, based on what I'm reading here, it sounds like this is just like some inner bureaucracy drama. Like it just sounds like they feel like the FDA should be maybe more involved in the booster shot plan. This would justify skepticism for the booster shot, maybe. Sure, I'll give you that one, but not for the current vaccine that is FDA approved. So no, this might be something to be skeptical of the upcoming plan for booster shots, maybe. But the current vaccine, no, it would be a brain dead reason not to get the vaccine. I can comfortably say that.
Okay, so did you happen to know about how they changed the definition of the vaccine in Merriam-Webster.
Okay, let's look it up.
I'm being super serious. Merriam-Webster gives vaccine a new definition. This is April 30th of this year. They basically change it to basically like include the definition of a treatment, which is really what this is. This isn't an inoculation. This is they call it a vaccine, implying that it is an inoculation.
Did Merriam-Webster change definition of anti-vaxxer amid COVID-19?
Not anti-vaxxer.
All right, let's see.
Vaccine.
Expanded sentence. Okay. Yeah, then this must be, so they're probably with that story came along like a slew of just like blatant misinformation. Okay. I'm looking into this. I haven't heard this one. And just let me put it out there just for the audience. Even if this were true, 100% true, doesn't change the fact that we have studies available showing the efficacy of this vaccine, and this would be a fucking brain dead reason not to get the vaccine. Because is the Merriam-Webster a private institution? I assume it is. Do I sound stupid asking that? The Merriam-Webster changing their definition does not mean that the vaccine is like something to be feared or some big grand conspiracy. So
can you repeat that? Sorry.
I was saying it more for the chat. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying that this, even if they changed the definition, it would still be a completely brain dead reason not to get the vaccine. All right, so let's see. It says the claim, Merriam-Webster changed the definition of vaccine to include the messenger RNA vaccines produced by Moderna and Pfizer. It's true that the dictionary's publisher's definition of a vaccine today is not the same as it was a year ago. The current definition includes a preparation of genetic material, such as a strand of synthesized messenger RNA, that is used by the cells of the body to produce an antigenic substance, such as a fragment of a virus spike protein. The previous definition referred to organisms administered to produce or artificially increase immunity to a particular disease. Okay, this is like this would be the, honestly, congratulations, because you just presented me with probably the most brain dead reason of them all not to get the vaccine. Because you're telling me that, okay, let me try to break this down very quickly and very, very fast. Language, we determine what words mean. Okay, this is a newer vaccine. True. You referenced that at the beginning. You told me that this was the first mRNA vaccine. This is a new type of vaccine. So now that we understand that, hey, vaccines can exist outside of just this artificially, inserting the strand of a virus to artificially increase immunity, vaccines mean more than that. So the definition changes along with that. This is not conspiracy. This is actually completely coherent, logical thinking that, again, would be a brain-dead reason not to get the vaccine.
So the definition goes from complete inoculation to treatment that may or may not cause a breakthrough case. And that definition...
I thought the current, based on what I'm reading, is the current definition is, quote, a preparation of genetic material such as a strand of synthesized messenger RNA. So the definition was expanded to include mRNA vaccines also. A vaccine it prevents you, right, from contracting the virus. That's the main goal, and that's what this mRNA thing works to do. It is a vaccine by our definitional standards, so the dictionary would work to change that. Anyone who thinks that this is like conspiratorial, I don't need to say brain dead again. I think I said that a lot. But it's brain dead is a good word to use, but it's true. I mean, it's true.
But
these are dumb reasons not to get vaccinated.
Do you not have like a little like an inkling of like how that can come across as like Orwellian to some people? And I know that it's trite. I know it's really fucking trite to have people say, "Oh, this is 1984. This is 1984," or "Brave New World," all that yada yada yada. But I can sympathize with those who have seen the changing definitions, the modifying of language, which is a tool. It definitely is a tool. If you can change language, you change definition. Look at how the definition of like something like racism, for example.
Okay, hold on, wait. Yeah, before we get off on that, we don't need to go any further. Definitions change all the time because definitions are socially constructed. We could literally look throughout history and see where definitions of words that we commonly use today have greatly changed. So, for example, the word awful used to mean something positive. But if I told you that these anti-vaxxers are awful, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't take it that way. Definitions of words change all the time. It is not Orwellian to have definitions like adapt with the times. That's not Orwellian at all. It's the opposite of Orwellian, if anything.
But if they go behind our back and change the definition of a vaccine, which is very, very important for the times that we're in, without telling us about it, we're just left to find it out on our own. Like, oh, one day it just
Merriam-Webster
definition
isn't the only dictionary. You can look at other definitions too.
But that is the most widely consulted one, and the resources that the most people go to, those are the ones that have like a
So what
definitely
I
an
would tell
appearance.
that person is they're being conspiratorial minded by thinking this was some behind the scenes anything, and rather the Merriam-Webster dictionary has been the most recognized and most used because it's usually the most accurate, and it seems it's also the quickest to update its shit. The mRNA vaccines have been being studied for a long time, and like I already pointed out, you mentioned that this was the first mRNA vaccine. It only makes sense that with the times, the definition would change.
The definition was vaccinated. If you were vaccinated, it means that you were inoculated. You couldn't get the disease. You couldn't contract it. Now it basically means you can get vaccinated. Some people who have gotten triple shot have gotten breakthroughs. Have you ever questioned why do they care about the unvaccinated at this point? Why do they want to get this vaccine so bad when they won't even vaccinate those who are coming across our border?
Okay, this is a huge, massive pivot. We don't need to talk about people crossing the border right now.
It matters. It's all a move of globalization. This is what this is all about.
Usually, actually, from a capitalist, more like perspective, globalization is actually kind of good. But we don't need to get into that conversation right now. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden's actually gotten heat because he's including Donald Trump's thing, Donald Trump's law that he put in place to send immigrants away at the border because of COVID. So I don't know what the reason for bringing up the immigrants for the first place was. Do you see how like all the anti-vax stuff seems very like scattered and sort of just what it really comes down to is sounds like is people are just like they're putting feelings over facts. They're like, I'm scared. It makes me uncomfortable. I have this icky gut feeling that it's going to be spooky and I don't really want to take the vaccine. You would laugh at my face if I said, well, an airplane is defined as something that takes us from point A to point B in the sky. And sometimes airplanes crash. So therefore, airplanes should not be trusted. And the definition is wrong. Like, do you see how delusional that would sound?
I don't want to be one of these people like of the variety of, oh, you're comparing apples to oranges, but I mean, let's see. So have you looked at the odds of a plane crashing in general versus the odds of dying from this illness?
What are the odds of dying in a car crash?
We're talking about planes.
We are talking about planes, but I actually think a car would even be a better comparison because it hones in on something that all of us almost every day use or ride in one or drive. You have like a 1 in 5,000. I don't know the plane stats off the top of my head, but you have one.
Stats, from what I'm seeing right now in front of me from PBS, it's about 1 in 11 million. And okay, so I got a message from my client saying he's okay if we go at noon, so I have 9 more minutes. But
there's also a lot less people that are flying in airplanes, right? So there might be more vaccine-related deaths at the end of the day, but we don't compare it just on that. It's also that more people have gotten the vaccine than ride on airplanes, for example. That's why I think cars are probably a better thing to hone in on, which would be, I'm not trying to compare death rates here of these things, but rather your chance of dying in a car accident is like 1 in 5,000. It's not that unlikely for you to die in a car accident. It's really not. However, we drive in cars almost every day. The likelihood of you actually dying from like some vaccine related bullshit is like 0.0001%. It's a joke. It's a brain dead excuse to justify putting feelings over facts.
So, okay, the car thing is a little bit off if we're comparing death rates of a viral infection versus human error with regards to operating a motor vehicle.
I'm not trying to compare death rates. I'm trying to show how you trust something where you have a higher likelihood of dying from it.
I'm not saying you are. So the odds of dying in a motor vehicle crash, from what I'm seeing, is 1 in 107. That's from the National Safety Council. That's just what I saw right now. But so the odds of dying from COVID itself, if you're healthy and if you're part of there's various rates, of course, depending on age group. We all know that. But it usually hovers around the high, like super high, 90, 98, roughly, percentage speaking. We didn't shut the country down when it came to swine flu. We didn't shut the country down
because it wasn't a pandemic. It wasn't at the same level. It didn't have the same level of spreadability. This was an entirely different situation. If you have to pivot to make a what about this thing claim, then you've lost the argument, because we're not here trying to say, has every government and every president been consistent in the ways that they handle diseases? Rather, we're talking about if getting the COVID vaccine at the end of the day is the logical decision to make. And it is. Again, your likelihood of dying from the COVID vaccine is like 0.0001%. What did you just read me? The likelihood of dying in a car accident? Like 1 in 100?
1 in 107.
Yeah. So
my point is that we take risks every day. This is really no different.
The risk of dying from a COVID vaccine is lower than 1 in 31,000. So there you go. If we're going to drive in a car every single fucking day, and you read me that 1 in 157 people are going to die in a car accident, and yet then we have the same anti-vaxxers that are probably driving around doing their makeup, talking on their cell phone, and eating donuts all at the same time while driving, complaining about a vaccine that is the likelihood of them dying from that is lower than 1 in 31,000. It's brain dead.
We're talking about a foreign entity that we're putting in our bodies that has not been out for even...
We're not talking... There's no foreign entity anything. This has gone through all the proper channels. It's gone through extensive studying, and now Pfizer is fully FDA approved. What more do you want?
The FDA approval is very shaky at best.
Why?
It's not. What?
Why? Why is it shaky?
Have you looked more into the officials leaving, people leaving in general from the FDA?
We just read about the one person leaving, and it had nothing to do with the vaccine.
It was for reasons undisclosed. What do you think that would be?
No, it was for the booster shots, and then the other one we read was for the Alzheimer's drug.
The Alzheimer's drug was from 2019, I think. I thought
that was back in June. We looked at both of them, though, I just Googled when the FDA people left and clicked the first one. But either way, yeah, we literally on this call looked up people that walked away from the FDA. That doesn't prove anything. What's shaky about the FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine? Please, can you please tell me?
Yes. Let's see.
Are you there? Wait,
Yeah.
Are you Googling right? Oh, don't be Googling now.
You've been Googling too, my friend, so let's not...
I know, I'm fucking with you. Even if you were Googling, it's fine. It's this... Go ahead. I'm not going to say anything. I'll wait for you.
Okay. The FDA, from what I've heard, I'm trying to remember based on what I heard, but I can't exactly find it at the moment. But if I do, I will can I message you on here? Are we friends on
You can
Discord
send
now?
me.
How does it
You
work?
can send me something right here. Yeah.
Can I
So
send it to you later?
yeah, you can send it to me later. But you made the claim already that it was shaky at best. So I'd like to know if
Yes,
even if it's
that
something
was
at the top of your head, what makes you think that it's shaky?
that was the general conclusion of what I had heard yesterday.
Who are
And
you
it
listening to?
what was I listening to?
Yeah, where did you hear this?
This was on, I believe it was either Reuters or Insider News. What was it? Shit. I will
Reuters
find
said that the FDA approval was shaky at best.
not shaky at best. That's my rewording of it, but it's not. It's basically saying that it was still kind of rushed, like it wasn't a
This is
clean
so
cut.
wrong. I don't know what I okay. If you have an article from Reuters, sure, go ahead and send it over. But I'm looking right here, and also I've already read this stuff because I have to be prepared to talk to people that think this way. But the COVID vaccine was approved quickly for various different reasons. First of all, historically, the reason that sometimes vaccines take a really long time to be fully developed and then approved is because it actually takes a long time to figure out how to make a vaccine against that thing. Thankfully for us, we've already had COVID-19 or coronavirus, generally speaking. It was being studied for quite some time, and trying to build a vaccine against it has already partially been made since we have vaccines against other types. Oh, wait, no, we don't have vaccines against that. That was my mistake. But it's been studied and being developed for quite some time. And researched sorry, I lost my train of thought here for you. Let me try to go
You're
ahead and
good.
send this to you also. Another reason that it went quicker was not because the FDA cut corners, but rather the FDA put more people to do the job. The approval process means slowly wading through piles of paperwork, something you don't have a lot of time for during a global pandemic. Instead of skipping steps, the FDA essentially put a lot more people and resources into the process right away. It's shockingly safe and it's amazingly efficacious, said Dr. Kinch of their findings. They had a lot to review, but they took the job very, very seriously, and I have no concerns that any corners were cut. So, yes, brain dead reason
Who?
not to get the vaccine.
Dr. Kinch.
Well, I can send you the whole article if you want. That was just one of the
Okay,
quotes.
yeah, please do.
But when I lost my train of thought there a second ago, I was just mentioning also that coronavirus, researching like vaccines against that have been researched now for quite some time. We've been aware of an existing coronavirus, but COVID-19 is new.
Yep.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you see why I think that it's pretty brain dead to not get the vaccine? Because like every avenue we take, we've been talking for 30 minutes, every single thing that was said is either wrong, out of context, or just a blatant lie and does not disprove the overall point that the vaccine is efficacious.
I would have no problem with taking the vaccine if I'm going back to this again, but if what we're seeing in how they're rolling it out with Australia, with Israel, all these places,
This
all
would be
like
something with
lots
quarantine. You realize if you don't want there to be any more quarantines or lockdowns, getting vaccinated is probably your best bet.
but who's pushing the vaccine?
What do you mean?
Who made them? The
Well,
CDC. So we have basically the CDC acting as an additional arm of the government right now, the WHO, who was in bed with China, who essentially okay, the origins of the virus. Let's talk about that too.
No.
It does play a role. It does play a
We're
role.
not going off. No, we're not going off into the tangent about the origins of the virus. We can talk about that another time, okay? But what you're saying right now is just a bunch of brain dead stuff. If you're against getting tracked or whatever, I don't like how Australia's doing that, okay? But if you're against that shit, get vaccinated. Honestly, the fact that we have a private company that is developing this vaccine and then has to go through a government body in order to have that approved, all the incentives are there to make the most effective vaccine.
I get you. So
it's brain dead to not get the vaccine. That is my thesis, and thus far it has been solidly proven.
You know about Dr. Malone, right? The creator of the mRNA vaccine?
Not really. Don't really care about that person, but sure.
No, no, no. Robert Malone, the creator of the mRNA vaccine, has said that natural immunity is better.
So what should be okay? Cool. So let's assume that he actually said that 100%. I don't know if that's true, but I'll go ahead and just give that to you and assume you're right. If he said that natural immunity is better, then what's the solution there? Everyone should just get COVID?
Everyone, we should go Sweden mode. We shouldn't enact shit. We should just let it run its course because it's endemic. It is endemic. It was either
Gotcha.
made.
Okay, cool. So your solution is more people die, and then in hopes that some people who don't die build up natural immunity. Do you see why this is all so fucking brain dead? This is yes, I'm talking to a bot right now. This is brain dead bullshit. You're telling me right now that the better route would be to have more people get the virus, potentially die, risk long-term effects, because building up natural immunity is actually better, said one guy. Do you see why I call you brain dead? Why?
The creator
this is also
of the mRNA vaccine. The creator of the vaccine. The technology that they're using, the mRNA vaccine. The creator.
I don't care. Just if someone creates something,
why do you not care about that?
Because
that's really significant.
Because it doesn't mean anything. Your solution is to let people get COVID.
But look at how it's going in other countries where they haven't implemented lockdown, like Sweden. It's very.
We don't know Sweden's full rates. We don't know if they even counted those numbers correctly. And also, there are less older people in Sweden. There's also a significantly lower population in Sweden. You have a much larger risk here in the States.
So let's look at what's going on in the States.
No, don't you have I don't want you to be late for your client meeting, honestly, and I've already lost enough brain cells here. This is why I call you people, you anti-vax people, fucking brain dead, is because you kind of come on first with this, well, I'm skeptical, I just have questions. No, fuck you. Every question you have is a conspiracy playing into misinformation or just blatant fucking falsehoods. It is, at the end of the day, brain dead nonsense not to get the vaccine. I appreciate you playing defense for the brain dead. I'm starting to think you might be brain dead yourself. Either way, thank you very much for coming on. Okay, buddy?
At the end of this life, just remember, you could have taken a stand against this.
Okay, sure. I'll remember that when I'm standing before God Almighty or whatever. I don't know. What other fairy tales do you believe in? Do you want to talk about it? Is the Tooth Fairy coming tonight? Maybe Santa Claus is coming down. I think so. Hold on.
Fuck you, dude. Fuck
I just heard Rudolph. There's another fairy tale for you to believe in.
No.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, dude. And stop playing defense for a bunch of anti-vax bullshit, all right? You're brain dead. Fuck that guy. I do not care. Like I said, I'll be mean to these people. These people are fucking stupid. And they do a net harm to society and the world. I like how recently it just seems every debate I do just ends with this just a vicious clash. It's so satisfying. Come on, OBS, stop! Ugh. Dude. Come on, bruh. Fuck this. I pay money for this software. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Ian Cron, thank you for the $5 donation. Hunter, no comment. Just want to encourage you to exercise regularly and meditate. It's probably a good idea for me. Thank you.
Yeah, exercise is one hell of a drug, you know?
Oh, hey, man. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, long time watcher back in the conservative days of Hunter. Actually, back when you were still Christian.
Oh, wow.
Long time watcher, but
So you're either changed with me or you despise me.
I changed with you for a while, then I kind of stopped in the center a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit slightly farther away.
Oops.
What was I talking? Oh yeah, the Wii Spa incident. Yeah, that was
Then I had the what incident?
Sorry, no, I was talking the Wii Spa incident a few days ago, or not a few days ago. It was like 2 months ago, right?
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Never mind.
you wanted to talk about the finally shit. All right, sorry, my software froze up there. So you want to talk a little bit about the bathroom debate, trans bathroom stuff?
Maybe just a little bit. Okay. I don't know. So I am going to concede this. Okay. So the arguments about so I have read a little bit about this. I do stand more in the center, honestly. So this might be a little bit of a dumb debate, but honestly speaking, I think we can all say safely that allowing sex offenders to use whatever restroom they choose, that is just a recipe for disaster, honestly.
So how do you know they're sex offenders?
Well, no, so specifically in the Wii Spa case, we know that person was a registered sex offender. They had been doing very
so that's what you
inappropriate.
Hold on, I don't know the Wii. What are you saying? What spa?
The Wii. Oh shit, the Wii Spa. You know, the person who exposed themselves in the bathroom. I thought this was going around YouTube a bunch of days ago. Yeah.
Let's see. So
is that LA? A person? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me look it up.
I'm actually very surprised you haven't heard of this.
Oh well, it's by Andy No, so instantly I'm not too sure. Is there another one? Is there another story that's not written by that sellout? Hold on. All right. Yeah, Fox News. This is better. All right. Registered sex offender accused of indecent exposure at Wii Spa in Westlake. A registered sex offender is facing felony charges after he was accused of indecent exposure at a spa. 5 people came forward to report allegations of indecent exposure. Okay. It was revealed that the incident... Okay, the suspect was a 52-year-old Darren Magar, had been a registered sex offender since 2006. Meager was accused of indecent exposure incidents from 2002 and 2003. Okay.
So the person, Darren Magar, hadn't legally changed their name yet?
So here's where the confusion came from, right? So the difference is you have a registered sex offender who was having indecent exposure recently at this place. It looks like September 2nd is when this happened. Wii Spa made headlines earlier in the summer after a woman was upset that a person who identified as female but had male organs was allowed to disrobe in the women's section of the business. The viral incident sparked demonstrations over transgender rights outside of Wii Spa. All right, so let's see.
Wait, you're kidding me? They're not the same person?
No. Nope, this was something earlier.
What the fuck?
Don't trust Andy No. This is why you never watch Andy No.
Actually, I don't even know who Andy No is, honestly.
Oh, well, the first thing I looked up was just he's that Antifa guy who has been exposed before and actually like instigating violence. In order to try to.
It's not really hard to instigate. They're kind of already pissed off. They're already spring-loaded in the pissed off position there, but
True. So a viral video posted by a woman upset that a person who identifies as female but has male genitalia was allowed to disrobe. All right, let's see what the video looks like. Am I gonna get banned for watching it? Oh, it's on YouTube.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have it. It's generally this person like.
Oh, the YouTube account associated with the video has been terminated.
Yeah, classic.
Well, so it sounds like a classic. Someone was offended by this person, but it wasn't actually a sex offender that was there, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I can always pivot to Jessica Yaniv if I want to make this case, Well,
Jessica Yaniv is like a piece of shit, and also I think takes advantage of a lot of these sort of ideas of like trying to be more inclusive for her own benefit. That's why she's largely a laughingstock among really any community you go to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, everyone fucking hates her. So for good reason. She's a piece of shit. But
the idea that like somebody like that is still allowed to use. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this out there. I am not a feminist by any stretch of the means. I'm pretty much as far as you can get away from feminism without being like a ISIS tradcon or whatever something. But
right.
I'm just gonna tell you right now. So the whole idea behind the transgender bathroom debate. So the statistics, they obviously say that transgender women are more likely to get sexually assaulted if they are in the men's bathroom as opposed to the women's bathroom.
Mhm.
However, if we set this precedent, there's also the possibility that a cisgender man will pose as a trans person and decide to, just go into the women's restroom or whatever, and then like they'll have some fucking hate mob of online leftists or whatever defending them or some bullshit. Which thankfully, in a court of law, you wouldn't really have to have those.
Has that really ever happened?
I don't know.
Because I don't think it. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, there was a case in like 2011 or something where someone was like dressed as a woman and then went into the bathroom and was like videotaping people or something. But if they were a creep and wanted to videotape people in the bathroom, what, like, they're just gonna do that anyway, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I know.
Dressing up as a woman isn't really gonna help
as much, though. I mean, it might though.
Yeah, but they would be if they were in a court of law. All right. Okay. So let's say hypothetically, there's a man who puts on a dress and a wig so he can go use the women's bathroom. If you go into the women's bathroom and do something creepy, if you like molest someone, like, you're gonna be held accountable no matter what.
There are no cameras in there, and you'd have to obviously have like a rape kit in order to find the evidence of that shit. I mean,
I feel like the thing is, we can you can make a hypothetical like thing that could happen, but until I don't feel like that happens at all. And like sex offenders, like men, for example, pedophiles, for example, will they'll molest little boys in the bathroom.
Okay,
that doesn't.
Yeah, I know. All this shit about obviously sex offenders we need to throw under the bus completely. Not even. Okay, what the fuck is this room? Let me look at these sources for a sec. So where the fuck is this? Because I didn't get that from Andy. No, exactly. There was some other source that I got the whole WeSpa incident from. I need to look at them. Okay. I guess that point is kind of done. The vaccine mandates. Let me just pivot over to that for a minute. So, honestly speaking, the vaccine, mathematically speaking, it is much safer than getting getting actual COVID and stuff, which is why personally I decided to get it. But the whole idea of okay, let's just take Australia. Their fucking lockdown procedures are completely off the wall crazy, okay? They're literally fucking arresting people for even going over to their friend's house, even if everyone has fucking vaccines and shit. Okay, it is just completely bonkers what they're doing, okay? And I get that they have a low rate of vaccination and stuff, but they're just throwing all civil liberties out the fucking door right now. And do you hear that thing about the new legislation they're proposing?
I know Australia's been going a little nuts over there. I haven't really looked into it too much. But that would be a separate conversation. That would be
what do you?
Huh?
Well, what have you looked into recently?
I've looked into the vaccines. Did you just watch my conversation with that guy?
Oh yeah, I heard the other one. Yeah, I'm not gonna defend being anti-vax completely. It's not mandating for every person. It's not a smart plan because you have to give them.
I want to address what you said first, really quick, because if you have a problem, you can have a problem with how Australia is carrying out their lockdown/quarantine procedures, but that's also doesn't really mean that that's not happening here in America. And also what's the concern then, that America's going to get more cracking down on people? If isn't it more likely that would happen if you don't get vaccinated? Didn't you just say that Australia had a lower vaccination rate? If that's the concern, then getting vaccinated would actually make more sense.
Yeah, that's why I'm in favor of vaccination. Just the fact that it's an authoritarian measure that is very telling.
I'm not here to argue about the validity of the Australia thing. Like I said, I don't know enough about that.
I'm talking about America's vaccine mandates now, going into everything, using the what were you saying? The unions were doing
OSHA?
It was FICA, OSHA, yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Wait, what the fuck is OSHA? I was kind of half awake during the last debate, honestly.
It's okay. It's a federal worker thing.
Yeah.
So this is not. Okay, hold on. Someone's knocking. I don't know if it's my kid or my wife. Yeah. All right. Hold on.
Oh, I'm just singing a song. For
All right, you know the
that
stream
was-
can still hear you, pal. So hold on.
Yeah, I know.
All right, I'm
I
back.
said I was singing for stream, okay?
So
But yeah.
how is this authoritarian? What Biden's doing here?
I mean, by its very nature, with the government mandating something, that is kind of the essence of authoritarianism, okay? And the whole idea that bodily autonomy, which is
No, I don't think that every time the government mandates something, it's like suddenly authoritarian. I don't think that's true. I think the government mandates a lot of things that are good and necessary. Government regulation is like a really important thing.
Something doesn't have to be bad in order for it to be authoritarian, though. Authoritarian literally just means the government.
So are seatbelt laws
exercising
authoritarian?
control. By definition, yeah. I mean, it's a good thing that we're doing.
I don't
those,
think
but they're
authoritarian just means when the government does something. Just like communism.
No,
is when
literally,
the government
a
does something.
definition. But communism is when the workers own the means of production. That's
The
literally
government actually has a right to mandate certain things. It would be authoritarian if Biden himself started just like making this happen, but he's going through the proper legal channels.
I mean, authoritarian is I'm talking about like, the definition of authoritarianism in general. You know, like it's like if something were like completely laissez faire, like we had no laws at all, that would definitionally be libertarian. Just because we make like a law it's not like a bad type of authoritarian, like literally making someone like not able to fucking buy a house or something like that is completely off the walls, authoritarian, terrible. Like seatbelt laws in comparison, they generally have a net positive impact on people. Authoritarianism isn't always bad though. But
Okay,
this type of
yeah,
stuff,
I'm reading about it. The enforcement or advocacy of strict obedience to authority at the expense of personal freedom. Personal freedom to do what? Go to your job and spread the virus around to people? I don't understand. This is... Authoritarianism is a form of government characterized by the rejection of political plurality, the use of a strong central power to preserve the political status quo, and reductions in the rule of law, separation of powers.
Status quo, that's bullshit. Okay,
and democratic voting.
Nazis 100% use that political authoritarianism to change the status quo so much it's not even funny. Okay.
I'm just reading. Listen, I'm just reading the fucking Wikipedia. Hey, I'm just reading the Wikipedia definition, and by this definition, it doesn't sound like Biden's move going through the proper government channels is authoritarianism. If you want to take this approach, Trump, you could argue, was closer to authoritarianism with how quickly he used the executive order thing. I think you could argue that using executive orders might be an authoritarian aspect. Maybe there would be some ground there even we could talk about. But this move, using OSHA, no, this is not authoritarianism. Not by definition, and not even in a practical sense.
So do we want to talk about like... Okay, I'm very thankful that Biden has actually dropped this, but remember when everyone in the Senate was talking about removing the fucking filibuster? I mean, Jesus.
What does this have to do with this thing?
I guess they're both authoritarian measures to give the proper party, fucking more power. Okay.
Okay. How is the government going to have more power by mandating people get vaccinated? Like, how does that give the government more power?
Because it sets a legal precedent going forward, okay? Because
what's
if
the
you
legal hold on, wait, stop. Because if we want to talk about legal precedent, there's actually almost 100 years of legal precedent showing that states have the ability to mandate vaccines. There's also precedent with this OSHA aspect of the government. OSHA oversees workplace safety, which the agency is likely to contend extends to vaccine mandates. They've also put other guidelines in place before too. So if you want to talk about precedent, the precedent for this move is here.
Generally speaking, most of those vaccine mandates have been for stuff like, polio or other influence like that, which has primarily been mandatory for schools and other such institutions. Now, this is, 100 people or more. What the fuck am I talking about? Never mind. I am sorry about that, Hunter. This is a fair legislation. I'm gonna admit that right now.
Oh, because it's got over 100 workers. Yeah, some people were
really... that if it's...
Go ahead.
I mean, wait a second. So is that 100 people for the entire corporation, or is that just like 100 people for one individual branch of the corporation?
It's businesses with more than 100 workers.
Okay, shit. I'm actually wondering if we apply, if my company applies, because we have like maybe 10 people in like our America stuff, but we like partnered with a different... Oh, no, it's a different company overseas. Never mind. But let's just say you have
it's not going to hurt small businesses very much. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
if you have over 100 workers, you're probably making some pretty good moves there.
And I'm just gonna say this. Pretty much everyone, even like Fox News and fucking Ron DeSantis, okay, everyone pretty much agrees that the vaccine is a net good. And even Ben Shapiro agrees this. It's the fact that everyone's being mandated to do this is just. I'm not gonna lie. There are a bunch of authoritarian policies that benefit the people not good. Like, for example, CPAL laws, like we were talking about. Okay, but the idea that this is definitionally like libertarian or definitionally like not authoritarian or something is.
I mean,
It's
really
not true.
If we're going to talk about like
I mean-
authoritarianism, it would be closer. Like I said, if Biden sat down and wrote an executive order that said, if you are a citizen of the United States, you are now mandated to be vaccinated. Okay, something like that, I could say, yeah, you didn't go through the proper channels. That's pretty ridiculous, yada, yada, yada. But he's going through the proper channels, and this is only for workplace. This is not for just like American citizens. I think that it's reasonable to use a government branch that oversees workplace safety to make sure that people with over 100 employees aren't showing up as like massive biohazards.
Okay.
But hey, man, I really, I appreciate the conversation. All right.
Yeah, just give me one. Okay. I just wanted to talk about one more thing before I left. Okay. Afghanistan. Okay. Now, do you want to know my insane conspiracy theory about Afghanistan?
Yeah. What is it?
So, you obviously know that the Taliban. Well, it's the Taliban. They're a fundamental. They're a fundamental Wahhabist Islamic extremist group that is basically it's basically had its entire history being basically anti-American or anti-imperialist in general because they also fought the Russians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what if the pullout of Afghanistan, the way they did it, what if that was intentional? What if he actually meant to arm the people there? Now, let's think about this.
No. That's we're gonna stop there because we can't go too far off on conspiracy tangents. All right.
But I'm just gonna say this right now. The Taliban is 100% going to hate China because they are actively genociding Muslims. Okay. And we just gave them basically a bribe to not fuck with us. Now, if that is the case, that would be stupid. But the way Biden did it now is also just giving them intentionally. It has to be one of the biggest military fuck ups in recent history. Okay. And honestly, like as far as conspiracy theories goes, the actual one is like 1,000 times stupider than the other one would be. And the conspiracy theory I'm gonna admit right now is very dumb. Okay. Because like giving the Taliban anything is just like, am I off stream? Wait, no, never mind.
Excuse me. I'm finishing my smoothie.
Never mind.
But, hey man, I do need to. I'm gonna move on to the next topic now. My brain's starting.
That's fine,
to hurt
man.
from all the
I'm gonna go
vaccine shots,
ahead
but-
and reboot Dairy. I just wanted to say S class is best class. Subscribe to Adam and Switch. See ya.
All right, see you, man. Oh. Whew. That was a good smoothie. Wow. All right. Oh boy. Excuse me. Matt Gruber, thanks for the $2. Trump over Biden. You're uneducated if you disagree. Okay, sure. Abhijit Madhushushi, thank you for the $5. James Mitchell, thank you for the $5. Last one. People who are anti-vax would draft dodge during World War II. Maybe, yeah. Christopher Brown, thank you for the $5. All his arguments were just talking points. He never researched. That guy was a legit NPC. To be fair, that I know you're talking about the caller beforehand, not the one I just got off call with, but yeah. All right, let me see here. So yeah, if anybody wants to send a PayPal donation, also you can include a message that way if you're watching on Twitch. I'm trying to grind out on my Twitch, man, but it's just oh. I've been grinding on TikTok actually and gaining a lot of followers on there, and then last night they took one of mine down for violating TOS. Dude, sock dem censorship, it needs to stop. It's gone off the charts. So I'm like, I had to appeal it. I like woke up at like 3 a.m. to pee and just looked, and I was like, oh my God, they took my fucking thing down. So it's been like under the appeal process for the last like fucking 10 hours. And it was picking up. It was getting views. So annoying, man. Wow, shout out to the one true Fusky for our biggest donation yet. $20 donation. Thank you very much, dude. Wow. Keep it up, Hunter. Hope all is well with you. Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate it. And yeah, all is pretty good. Hope all is well with you as well. Yeah. All right. All right. I gotta pee real quick. All right, and then we're gonna get started with. Are you using regular OBS or Streamlabs? I use Streamlabs OBS since I dual stream right now on Twitch and YouTube. But if you follow on Twitch, you're extra based. Okay, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, please. All right, we're back. Okay, we're going to go over one more topic, which is what's in the title, Matt Walsh. So, we all hate Matt Walsh around here, right? He's just, basically, we're going to be going over, like, layers of stupidity, okay? Hold on. Imagine a really good cake, okay? Imagine a really big, layered cake. But the cake, each layer is just like dog shit. That's kind of what we're going to be dealing with here, because we're talking about something Matt Walsh said, but it's being reported to us by Anthony Brian Logan. We've gone over some of his videos before. He is like the textbook definition of a conservative NPC. But okay, let's find out. Matt Walsh, I don't like female reporters in football. Same here. So, you're going to have to really make a strong argument there, because just the title alone sounds, what's the word? Sexist. All right, let's get started. Let's see.
I'm glad somebody finally said it, because it needed to be said.
It needed to be said. The women are ruining the football.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire and his controversial take about women not being best suited to cover masculine sports like football. Now, I agree with him 1,000% for a variety.
Of course he does. He would lose subscribers if he didn't agree with Matt Walsh. Are you kidding me? Of course he agrees with him. Why is my computer so fucking slow lately? My computer needs a vaccine. No way. Oh, I had to close it down. Fuck. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, I got it back up. Hopefully that's a little smoother now. Hold on. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So, yeah, of course he agrees with him. He'd lose subscribers if he didn't, lol.
Variety of reasons that I'll get to a little bit later. But of course, Matt Walsh and guys like myself and anyone else that says this will be attacked with, oh, you're a misogynist, you hate women, all this, that, and the third. When it's not even about that. It's about sending the best person who is suited for the job. Why?
Okay, you're going to say it's sexist. It's not about that. It's just that women aren't the best for the job because they're women. Why are you making a circular argument, Anthony? It's just about who's best for the job, but the implication there is that women are not what's best for the job, and you have no basis for believing that. In fact, there's actually evidence to the contrary, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Why would you send this young lady that he was speaking about in the video I'll get to in a minute, why would you send her in this arena with a bunch of beer-drinking, masculine dude bros? Does that make any sense? I don't think so, but before I go any further into the rabbit hole, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see and hear Matt Walsh talk about this particular thing and give an example of an event that happened recently, and I'll also show the clip of that example so you get that context. After we get done watching those two clips, please, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said, what was done, what was shown there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top.
Deep, detailed analysis? Is that possible for this guy?
So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
It wouldn't be fair to say that all female sports reporters are like Lindsay. But even so, I must say, this situation only demonstrates why I personally prefer for sports broadcasts, especially football broadcasts, to be handled mostly by men. Lindsay, though worse than the average, even as far as female sports reporters go, is definitely not the only female to enter into this mostly male space and seek to feminize it. She wants the football stadium.
Oh, God, give me mercy, please. Why aren't they playing the clip? Play the clip before we hear your dumb fuck tangent, please. Okay. So let's actually see the clip first. This is what they're talking about. A female reporter who was like a little awkward and had a hard time at one thing.
Hello. Please don't touch me. Excuse you.
Go.
They're hitting defensive slugfest, and the Dogs ran away with it. A 10-3 win here at How long do I have? Please don't touch my equipment. Please don't. How long do I have? I've got to move.
All right.
Okay. Okay, I'm out. Hunter Avalon is a sad excuse for a political streamer. Hey, buddy, get in my Discord. You have 5 minutes. If you don't, you will be banned. All right? But it might not matter because you don't want to be here because you don't like your dumb fuckery challenged. But that's okay. So try to imagine that you saw this video in 2009. What do you think a video like that would be titled? Probably something like funny news reporter bloopers, right? Never mind the fact that like we're during COVID, right? So maybe she doesn't want people to touch her. Never mind the fact that her job there is to be reporting on something, not have people getting all over in her face in the camera. But sure, from some of these clips, she looks a little inexperienced and uncomfortable. Bravo. Okay. Before everything became brain rot, if we want to go back to a time like 2009, right? I feel like this would be titled just like awkward reporter at the football game, LOL. But now that we live in 2021 and Matt Walsh wants to make some big bucks, suddenly this is a indication that the femoids are unable to accurately be good sports broadcasters. Let's actually look up the full story. Female broadcaster, awkward. I bet that'll come right up, right? Was it a football reporter too? So, yeah, I don't know. We don't really need to look into it. Whatever. It's just an awkward reporter. There's nothing indication here that women are trying to feminize shit. But okay, let's actually watch Matt Walsh's psychopathic rambling now, okay?
That all female sports reporters are like.
She was a little cringe, not gonna lie. Of course, yeah, she was a little cringe. She looked uncomfortable. Sure. Does that mean that all women are bad at what? How do you know it's because she's a woman? Maybe she's new. Maybe she's just uncomfortable. Maybe this is why, maybe it's a better example as to why newer interns, inexperienced people shouldn't be at sports games right away if they're not really cut out for how invasive some of those drunken, sports dummies can get.
Like Lindsay. But even so, I must say, this situation only demonstrates why I personally prefer for sports broadcasts, especially football broadcasts, to be handled mostly by men. Lindsay, though worse than the average, even as far as female sports reporters go, is definitely not the only female to enter into this mostly male space and seek to feminize it.
So, remember the clip we just watched? Where the fuck was that person trying to feminize anything? Is it feminine now to say, please don't touch my expensive equipment? I mean, she was a little awkward in some points, but what was that? What was feminine about that? Yeah, now that I think about it, all of us dude bros, whenever we're hanging out, we're always touching each other, The hand on the upper thigh. Oh, man, that's how you and your boys are really about to have a great round of Mario Kart. What the fuck was feminizing about her saying, please don't touch me and back up from my equipment? Why couldn't you just watch it and say this is awkward and a little goofy? Okay, the end.
She wants the football stadium to be quiet and gentle, considerate, respectful of personal space. She wants it to be a more feminine environment.
What is being nice, not getting in people's faces during a global pandemic? She wants it to be like a women's bathroom or something. Not calling everyone you encounter a brain-dead bitch. Jeez. Why are the femoids trying to ruin everything again?
She's not trying to assimilate herself into the culture of football fans. She is rather hoping that they assimilate themselves to her.
What is
This is the problem
she
across our culture. Sports
talking about?
just happen to be an area where the problem is especially.
I'm in pain. My brain, it hurts. I'm admitting it right now. I'm in pain. I'm crying. Oh my God. How do these people make money? How do these fucking degenerate pieces of subhuman shit make money? How is he hired?
This is the problem across our cultures.
How is she entering the male space seeking to...
Assimilate herself into the culture of football fans. She is rather hoping that they assimilate themselves to her. This is the problem across our culture.
Couldn't you argue this with any reporter? They all expect you to assimilate somewhat with them. They don't want you to touch their expensive equipment. They all expect you to have some boundaries. What do you mean, Matt? I think that Matt, honestly, I think that at the end of the day, he's just a troll. Like, he has to be a troll. Oh, God. Someone with this level of success, he has to recognize that, like, he just says a bunch of dumb shit and gets paid for it. Believe me, assuming he is a grifter is a much bigger compliment than assuming that he is sincere in these beliefs. Because if he's sincere, then he is one of the most worthless, subhuman pieces of degenerate filth to ever exist on this fucking planet.
Sports just happen to be an area where the problem is especially pronounced and obvious. Females enter into areas that have typically catered and mostly belong to men. And then, often quite successfully, they try to change them, to emasculate them, and thereby destroy the primary reason for their existence in the first place.
Your version of masculine is just like apparently being rude, getting in people's faces, and like damaging expensive camera equipment.
This phenomenon is so far reaching in football especially that they're even changing the rules now to make the game itself more gentle and feminine. Football is, still violent.
What?
But it's less violent than it used to be. This year they're even focusing on penalizing.
What? Oh no, please. Is football less violent today? Even if it is, what does that mean with women? Violence in sports usually refers to violent and often unnecessarily harmful intentional physical acts committed during or motivated by a sports game, often in relation... All right, hold on. The decline of football is real. So you can, like, this is literally just like angry boomer dad mad that football isn't like it used to be when they wore the leather helmets and beat the fuck out of each other. So he's mad about that, and instead of just like confronting this feeling he apparently has, he's instead blaming it on the women. Okay.
Penalizing players who say mean or rude things to each other on the football field. They've been doing this during the preseason in the NFL. All of this, along...
I'm going to look it up. Okay, since 2014, people could get flags for saying profanity in the game. So what do you mean? Where's the recent feminization? Has it been going on really as a covert thing? Is that why? Is it because if we want to look here, there's a whole shit ton of reasons why there aren't as many women in sports, in fields like sports commentators, and it's not, newsflash, because they're women. It's actually because there are some systemic barriers. Did you know, for example, that back in like the 70s and 80s, women sports reporters, now this kind of makes sense, but they weren't allowed to go into the locker rooms to interview sports players, whereas the men were. So that right there was a completely double standard where now they've changed that, so I don't think you're allowed to interview people in the locker room at all, which I think is probably makes the most sense. But at the time, that was still going on, so men would be able to get all these exclusive interviews with the players that the women reporters simply could not. they were held back in that area. There was an actual real barrier there in their career. So there are reasons why there are not that many women here. And like I said, it has nothing to do with them not being as good at their job. Women have been sports commentators for a long time now.
With the token female sideline reporters and the female analysts at halftime.
Yeah.
It's an effort to make
The token female... What about the token cheerleaders? Is that feminizing the game? Why do we have to see a bunch of women, dude? Come on. Ew, I just want to see some sweaty men. We can also talk about how more people than ever actually watched women's sports. So, a season that was dedicated to making strides for social justice, and the league reported a 68% increase in average regular season viewership for the 2020 season. Now, some of this played a role also because COVID was in place, but it was also a massive bump for female sports. And the fact that even sports with a social justice sort of undertone saw such a massive increase, it's proof that Matt Walsh is actually wrong. It's proof that, like, this isn't like a token anything. It's just that people actually like diversity, and you're just the weird one, Matt.
the game less appealing to the people the game was invented for to begin with.
So the game was apparently, I mean, oh my God. All right. So I guess since the game is meant for men, it's meant to only appeal to men. So objectifying cheerleaders, cool, because that is good for the men. What a disgusting piece of shit. Matt Walsh, more like Matt Worthless. Fuck that cuck. All right, now we have to hear cuck number 2 talk and ramble on about this. Let's hear.
You heard that? Now, I don't see the lie there. I don't see the lie.
Really?
Again, someone may say that he's a misogynist. He's some other kind of obic ober-ist I don't even know about. Some kind of cisgender woman hater. I have no idea. They might even want to attack his sex.
No, it's actually not anything complicated. It's just good old-fashioned sexism, my dude. That's it. Thankfully, it's not an obism or ism that you've never heard about. But actually, it's just a simple, plain old textbook sexism right there.
Sexuality, although he's married with kids. But that's a different story, and I digress. The point is that they want to attack the man over what he said. But what did he say that was false? If there was a...
He implied that women are not good reporters when there's, 1, no proof of that. 2, there's arguably proof in the opposite direction. And 3, women reporters have been doing their job in sports for a long time, despite facing barriers like Matt Walsh and like you. Also, it just makes sense, right? You want, like, what's the goal of football? Sadly to Matt Walsh, the goal of football at the end of the day is not actually to appeal to the men, the big, tough guys. It's actually to just get the most fucking views so that they can make the most money. So it turns out that if you have a female sports reporter and she's reporting on the game, you might have women that are more likely to tune in for the game. And that might boost your ratings and boost your viewership. I mean, we just saw how women's sports, even with social justice undertones, have seen large boosts in their viewership numbers. But that's why. That's what he said. That's why what he said was false.
The man right there, that whole situation wouldn't have happened where she's kind of like ducking for cover. Like the way she was acting, it was like these guys were trying to attack her. Now, I'm not saying a guy can like just touch you or put his hand on your shoulder without your permission. I'm not saying that.
I'm not trying to get me too. Okay?
It's a football game. They're beer drinking. They're excited. They want to get in the camera and shout. It's what they do. Okay, that's what they do.
Oh yeah, men will be men, boys will be boys. This is just the classic. Fuck you. I hate these people. I'm you know what? I'm done with the optics. I'm done with the figuring out the rhetorically effective thing to say. Nah, middle finger. Fuck you. All right. I don't want to go further because, you know, TOS, but like pretend you're in Minecraft at the very giant tip of a bridge and jump off of it in Minecraft. These are just the classic men will be men. They're drinking. They want to get loud. You know, that's just how What a disgustingly low view of men you have, man. I'm sorry. I'm a guy. I don't think me drinking a couple beers gives me the right to get all in the face in the camera and be all like, hello, what's going on, huh? touching people, coming all close to the equipment. How does that justify it?
They're beer drinking. They're excited. They want to get in the camera and shout. It's what they do. Okay, that's what they do. Now, I saw another clip. If I can find it, I'll place it in the box. But there was a young man who was in the same situation at some kind of event. I'm not sure if it was a football game or what, but he was right in the mix of all the people and took it like a champ.
The former Gamecock quarterback, Coach Shanahan, these last couple of years is making his debut as assistant coach. But perhaps the biggest storyline is the fact that you have a former grad assistant coach.
So you realize that, one, you're showing a clip of a guy walking here with people cheering it while he's talking. What we saw looked like behind the scenes of that girl trying to get ready and people coming over touching her. Very big difference already. Second of all, this isn't a man and a woman thing. I could just as easily find some men fucking up an interview and then find women that handle it like a champ. This is probably just experienced sports reporter versus inexperienced sports reporter. It's not because they're men and women. These people, man. God. This is why no one takes Hunter seriously. Oh, why? Because I say that. I'm just saying he loses composure easily. Oh, no. Did that hurt your feelings when I got a little mad? Do you want to talk on my Discord? I'll talk like a robot in an ASMR voice the whole time.
Seth Nolan weighing under center tonight as the starting quarterback. Earlier in the week, we had a chance to be able to catch up with both Seth.
It's because he's a man.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It.
If you're going to put a camera right there, right in the concourse, with everybody coming by, you know they've been drinking, you know it's a football game, you know they're having a good time. Why would you expect them to just be like some kind of black tie gathering of senior citizens? Why would you expect that? It doesn't.
Not a black tie gathering, actually. Just, a little personal space and respect to the equipment, I guess. But sure, if you want to stretch it all the way around that way, fine.
Make any sense. And then to go a little bit deeper into the whole situation, this is part of the reason why, in my humble opinion at least, that football, even basketball, is kind of getting softer. Definitely football. Now, I don't mean softer as far as protecting the athletes. That's different. I don't think that, banning the helmet hits that unnecessarily can cut somebody and give them brain damage is necessarily softening the game up. But I think some things like, I don't know.
Okay, there you go. Thinking for yourself a little bit. Wow.
Language they might want to use. Like some things that are just soft for no reason that do not relate to the gameplay on the field, but relate to trying to have a more inclusive audience. It's like, what are you doing?
Wait, what?
What's the majority of your...
What gender inclusive language? There's a opinion piece here, something on something. Is this an opinion? Adopting gender neutral sporting? That's not anything to do with football. Okay, so I think he just literally made that up and said gender inclusive to try and set off the conservative buzzword tingle defense. So you have to understand that conservatives, they accuse the left of acting with buzzwords, but as long as you repeat enough of their buzzwords, they're more or less okay. So gender inclusive language, he slipped that in even though there's nowhere at all proving this, literally at all. That's enough. Oh, what? Gender inclusive language sounds like something woke. Yeah, football is declining. Yeah, the liberals are ruining everything. Yeah.
Audience. It's not LGBT. It's not women. It's 80-90% conservative men. So why would you...
Conservative men? Really? What are the average NFL viewer demographics? Let's see. So the 33% of respondents aged 34 to 44 were avid fans of the NFL. Okay. 65% of adults say they follow NFL. How do we see? Okay, what percentage of NFL fans are men? So it seems like if you look at it from right here. Oh, this is actually so great. I'm so glad I found this. So you'll... Okay, can you fuck you off, please? Okay, level of interest. Avid fan. Casual fan, not a fan at all. So it is true that, of course, more men enjoy football at the end of the day. Fine. However, if you look here, 36% of women would consider themselves a casual fan. Compare that to the 33%. It looks like it's just a difference. It looks like that men are more likely to be like the avid fans who like paint their faces and try to define their personality on like a boring sports game. And then you just have like the women who are just, I guess, smarter and don't really give a fuck about boring sports. So like, I don't know, you can compare which one you think is cringy, but if you want to actually just look at the casual viewer, the women and the men are actually pretty comparable. So I like that. I haven't even looked this up before. I literally just Googled this for fun. There's nowhere to prove that they're conservative men. That's obviously, just something convenient that he's trying to throw in there. I'm glad though that we found these statistics because it absolutely further destroys what this guy is saying. Because it turns out that women and reaching a female demographic is actually somewhat valuable to the NFL and does seem to be actually having a positive benefit as of 2021.
You do things that are going to turn that base off to try and attract people that were never going to watch you anyway. Okay, how many LGBT and women really watch football? Like, is that really a thing? I'm not saying no women watch football, obviously.
36%
I'm not saying no
casual
LGBT
viewers.
watch football. But what's
16% of the women surveyed were avid fans. I mean, yeah, that's not that many compared to the men, but still. Keep in mind, these are the same people that won't get vaccinated because, like, 1 out of a million can make you have a cough for 3 days.
going to be the biggest block who watches football games, who attends football games, who spends the money? I mean, let's just keep it real. So when they do things like, okay, we're going to change the name of the Washington Redskins to the Washington football team or the Washington Red Wolves, it's like, nah, how about Redskins? How about we're not so soft to get offended at a name that a lot of these people who never watch football at all ever.
How about you're not so soft that you get offended by female reporters in football? What do you mean? All right, I'm done with this. Nah, we're done. We looked at all the stats. They're wrong, and they're just fucking stupid. I can't do it anymore, dude. These people, God. These people make me fucking sick. Jeesh. God, that hurts. All right. Ay, ay, ay. Why can't gay people like sports? Because that would make it woke. Duh. Football's only for the men. Meanwhile, if gay people are like, the rainbow flag is only for the gays, they would be like, oh, they're trying to control what we can and cannot do. This is truly Orwellian. The gay corporation is lobbying once again to restrict all of our rights. Dun 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 dun. So soft he can't even take a name change. I know, right? So weird. Bro, if you don't like football, you shouldn't be commentating on it and what goes on in it. No, I will when people are trying to justify that football's for the men and now the women are bad because they're the women. I will step in. I don't need to know anything about football to know that that's a dipshit opinion. I only like stone sports. Honestly, that would be really fucking fun. I have the big gay, but I don't like football. That's okay. But women are bad for being women. Exactly. Now you're speaking Matt Walsh's language. Adrian Knight, thank you for the $5 donation. This guy's arguments just make him sound like the black quartering. True. Honestly. Guys, we are going to be wrapping the stream up shortly. So if you want to donate and have your message read and responded to live, now is the time to do it. I know I usually only stream for about 2 to 3 hours. I'm going to start getting to a place where I'm going to be streaming longer soon. When are you fully embracing the left and becoming a communist? Never. Well, never say never, but unless someone makes some really goddamn good arguments. It's funny how they don't cry about diversity when the MLB is like mostly black/Latino. That's okay in this instance. Exactly, yeah. You see, it's only a real problem if they're bothered by it. The Redskins were a dead organization anyway. Could you argue the quartering? I would love to argue the quartering, but I cannot because he won't talk to me. Because he won't give up his precious, valuable time, apparently. You see, he's just too important of a man to speak with little old me. All right. Y'all, I love you. I very much enjoyed this morning stream, too. This was a nice way to start the day. Well, kind of started off a little early. Now it's already 1, so, yeah. Hey, Woody, thank you for the $2. Appreciate it. Where are they now? They're with Carissa. The kids. They're going to be going to bed soon. James Mitchell, thanks for the $5. Anthony is the I'm one of the good ones in form. Yeah, him and Blair White. Will morning streams become the new normal, as they say? I don't know. Are you going to come in my Discord and talk to me sometime? All right. Let's see if TikTok reinstated my thing. Funny that Hunter's main argument is always an appeal to authority, but somehow when people want that in sportscasters, they're sexist. I'm sorry. What do you mean? If there was a woman and a man who were equally authoritative in their field, then why the fuck would it... They were saying women in general wouldn't be good. It had nothing to do with authoritative. And your assumption that women are just equally not authoritative is actually incorrect. And sexist. So, nice try, I guess, but okay. It's cute. You know, I can appreciate it. All right, y'all. I love you. This has been fun. I'm going to go now. I'll see you all soon. Love you too, even if you're stupid sometimes. Yeah, I see your tweets. I know you think I'm very stupid, although you apparently never want to talk. But yeah, all right. I'll see you all soon. Peace. Hey, you know what? I was also going to say really quick, I'll leave this on a positive note. I'm trying to decide if it would be in poor taste if I streamed tomorrow or not. I don't know. I just feel like if I streamed tomorrow, it would be a stream that you would never forget, you know? Hunter only has base points. True. Am I going to get canceled? Yeah, thanks everyone for watching on Twitch and YouTube. Also, you guys are fucking based. Especially Twitch. You know, you're especially based.